As the world's mobile operators migrate towards virtual radio access network deployments, their partners and suppliers are teaming up to deliver the technology they need. One example is the recently announced collaboration between Intel and Wind River, which are jointly developing a 5G vRAN solution. To find out the details, including what the industry can expect from this partnership, I'm talking today with Cristina Rodriguez, VP Network and Edge Group and GM of the Wireless Access Network Division at Intel, and Wind River's Chief Technology Officer, Paul Miller. So, why have Intel and Wind River decided to join forces on this development? Cristina, let's start with you.
So there is a lot of momentum, a lot happening in the entire network infrastructure, and specifically in the radio access network. Operators are embracing Open RAN, virtualization of the RAN, and looking for those benefits that bring the agility, the flexibility, the total cost of ownership reduction. So all that by taking advantage of those cloud native opportunities from core to edge to access. The work that we have done, Wind River and Intel, first of all, we have a long history of collaboration. And specifically in this space, we have collaborated in 5G Live network efforts. One of the examples, for example, is the work that we did with the 5G end-to-end data session from Verizon. So we're leveraging all that knowledge, all that experience, all that work, coming with optimized, ready-to-use solutions that can help operators build a future-proof network.
Thank you, Cristina. And Paul, over to you.
Well, thanks, Ray. We're certainly very excited about the continued partnership we have with Intel and the decades of work we've done together, really on the premier platform being used for vRAN technology today, that being the Intel Xeon processor family. We produce a product called Wind River Studio Cloud Platform, which is a Kubernetes-based environment that's used at premier operators such as Verizon and Vodafone, and used with the Intel Select solution for vRAN. This edge platform is a full stack that's been tested at CSP Labs and deployed in production in the market today. And this real long-term partnership that we have between Intel and Wind River allows us to have a tight integration with the processor families and features, as well as Intel acceleration technologies and network interface devices that are really all necessary to build a complete vRAN solution for the market.
Okay, thanks, Paul. So let's dig a little bit deeper into what is actually included in this 5G vRAN partnership. Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. So we want to make it easier for our customers to evaluate this solution. And so we're providing them a downloadable reference software package to enable proof of concept testing. We also want to enhance the market competitiveness of our combined solution. And so we've obviously, from what we've talked about so far, we've done a lot of work together on the current generation of Xeon processors. But this partnership provides a structure to continue that work through to Sapphire Rapids, which is the next generation of Xeon processors from Intel, and we'll optimize Wind River Studio and Intel's FlexRAN solutions for that. And then the last piece is a set of deliverables focused around best practices for FlexRAN enablement, which we intend to facilitate with collaboration in the Starling X open source project.
And Cristina, what do you see as the resulting benefits for network operators?
Yeah, tremendous benefit. And I kind of touched that when I commented earlier. It's all go back to what I was talking, flexibility, agility, total cost of ownership. But I can summarize it. I'm going to summarize it in three major points. So number one is having that ready available solution, tight integration that Paul was mentioning, that we can do with our Intel solutions and devices and Wind River Studio. So having that available, all the learnings through the years, it just brings certain maturity to the solution. This is something that has been proven, is working, is ready to be deployed. So it brings confidence in the operators that they can go into this path, knowing that we are going to be not only providing the solution today, but also continue evolving the solution, working together, as Paul was saying, going now, we're deploying today our third generation of Xeon scalable processor, but going to the same level of optimization and evolution in our next generation. So that's important. One of the things that I want to mention is that nearly every vRAN deployment that is happening today is happening on our Intel architecture. So that again brings that level of confidence. So that's one. The next one I would mention is the requirements, how the technology is capable and able to meet the requirements of the industry. And I'm going to talk specifically about performance, and especially performance per watt. We all know how important performance per watt is in the industry, in this segment. So again, with the combination of the work that both companies are doing, if I take, for example, what we bring to the table, going back to my reference to the third generation of Intel Xeon scalable processor, we launched that back in April. At that time, we told the world how with this new addition to our portfolio, we're able to double the throughput for best-in-class massive MIMO 3 by 100 megahertz 64T 64R. So tremendous level of performance and being able to address the needs and their requirements. And then you put that together with Wind River Studio, which is capable to have a very small footprint. And now you have a solution that operators can take and take advantage of, number one, total cost of ownership, but also taking advantage of that economy of scale when you go to deploy server architecture and cloud architecture. You have now more cores and more capabilities to road your workload and your applications. And then the third one, I would say, really quick, will be just back to the agility and the flexibility. We need an infrastructure that is agile, nimble, and flexible, so we can address the use case, and the operators can address the use case of today, but also the use case of the future when we're talking about the autonomous driving and the medicine on the network, and gaming and smart industry and smart buildings, IoT, you name it, right? All those latency sensitive use cases, high reliability use cases. So this again allows the operator to have a network that can evolve and can be, again, it can be future proof.
And Paul, can you tell us a bit more about Wind River Studio and how it fits into this 5G vRAN solution?
Yeah, sure. I'd be glad to. We're very excited about this offering that we have now. Wind River Studio is a complete solution for our customers to enable the right business outcomes for them. It includes the ability to perform design, development, operations, and servicing of mission-critical intelligent edge systems like 5G vRAN. As such, it includes a set of capabilities that enable our customers to do that. That includes a integrated cloud platform that is based on Kubernetes on bare metal first technology via the Starling X open source foundation activity that we've been working with Intel for many years. That's a unified infrastructure offering. And then we layer on top of that a big data analytics solution that enables operators to have easy day two operations and visibility across the network for deploying and managing the intelligent 5G edge solutions. And then on top of that, we then add orchestration and automation capabilities. And this really creates a complete stack. When we talk about a complete stack, we're not just talking about Kubernetes itself. We're talking about a system that's been designed to really meet the operational challenges that a service provider has. These 5G vRAN deployments and O-RAN deployments are typically thousands to tens of thousands of sites that are being pulled together into a single integrated cloud environment. And as such, you need capabilities like true zero-touch deployment for deploying systems at these levels of scale, and the ability to do zero-touch provisioning throughout the system. the ability to deploy services in a completely automated way and maintain the life cycle of those services. Analytics and machine learning capabilities for predictive outage avoidance and monitoring the deployed systems are also really critical. And then, full flexibility in that with an architecture that allows the customer to customize and manipulate the system for their own operational needs. The result of all of this is a set of technologies in Wind River Studio that are really designed to, first have the right technology platform for ultra low latency real-time applications such as 5G vRAN and FlexRAN, but also the right operational tool sets that are used by our customers to really be able to run this on a day-by-day basis in a low-cost manner. The result of all of this work, we've had an independent study performed by the analyst group ESG that found that we're 75% more cost-effective. This partnership between Intel and Wind River yields the absolute lowest cost TCO for a 5G vRAN deployment with ultra-low footprint at the edge, like Cristina mentioned. And that really is the reason why you see the global attraction to this type of solution to enable a truly cost-effective deployment of 5G vRAN.
And Cristina, the press release announcing the partnership identifies a number of Intel products and technologies that are key to this 5G vRAN development. Can you tell us a bit more about these Intel elements?
Absolutely. We have a very rich portfolio of networked IP and products. And I already mentioned, of course, our Intel Xeon scalable processor products. We also have additional, of course, network products such as SoCs, FPGAs, EASIs, custom ASICs, Ethernet adapters. Specifically to this work, we have, as I mentioned again, Intel Xeon Scalable Processor, our third generation of that being the latest of the portfolio. But we also have, for example, accelerators to run specific functions within the workload. And we can do that in FPGA if you need that additional programmability, or we can do that in our structured ASIC or EASICs for more performance per watt benefit. We also have Ethernet adapters, 100 gigabit per second Ethernet adapters, SYNC capable for those time-sensitive workloads. We have a good amount of software. Of course, we have our FlexRAN software. Paul mentioned it. Our FlexRAN software basically provides the entire implementation of layer 1, wireless stack layer 1, running on our Xeon servers, all running on software. And we offer that as a reference to our customers and partners as a time to help with the optimization, help with the time to market. Of course, we have more than 100 licenses today in the industry. So we're very happy with our complete solution. We also very excited with the work that we are continue doing with both with Wind River, Intel and Wind River. We are already working on having that tight integration, that optimization for our fourth generation of Intel Xeon Scalable Processor. Paul mentioned our Sapphire Rapid devices. And again, we're looking forward to have the capability with all the goodness of the Wind River Studio, all the capabilities that Paul mentioned, running on this next evolution of our roadmap.
And Paul, is there anything else you'd like to add about this solution development at all?
Sure, I'd be glad to. We already spoke about the specifics of the partnership, but I think there's some other benefits to our working together. The first is really recognizing that the Kubernetes platform that we're talking about is a 100% open source solution, and many folks are participating in that. That is hosted in the Open Infrastructure Foundation as the project called Starling X, where Intel and Wind River work together on this vRAN distributed cloud technology. This really enables us to have crowdsourced agile innovation and drive rapid innovation in the O-RAN community and vRAN application space. And this is the way that OpEx and CapEx savings has really been driven by having that close collaboration in an open source community. And so we're very excited about that, and certainly invite others in the community to join there and participate in Starling X. It is really the preeminent solution for distributed cloud technology for scaling to thousands of nodes in a vRAN or O-RAN architecture. We've also been very committed as a company, involved in open source for over 15 years. As I mentioned, O-RAN, Starling X is actually the foundational O-Cloud technology used in the O-RAN software community today, and we're very, very involved there with that contribution, as well as in other environments like ONAP, TIP, ETSI, and open source Mano. The second major point is that what we're talking about here is a real constant investment profile with Intel and Wind River partnering for many, many years, decades in fact, and we really do that to try to shift the performance envelope. You've heard Cristina and myself talk throughout this video of the incredible benefits in TCO and reducing the cost of deploying a network and managing it. This is a direct result of our close collaboration. And we also work very closely with our customers. I gave examples of Verizon and Vodafone earlier to harden this in an actual production deployment. And that ensures that the capabilities we need and the quality that's in the system, that work's already been done, right? And new customers that take advantage of this solution benefit from that hardening of the only vRAN deployments in the market today. And then the last point I wanted to talk to is somewhat unique to Wind River in that we've been in business for 40 years this year and are involved in many different market verticals, including aerospace and defense and automotive autonomous systems, drone systems, medicine, industrial, et cetera. And that work over so many years has resulted in recently VDC research recognizing Wind River as #1 in edge compute platforms. And we've actually overtaken Microsoft as the overall leader in the edge compute OS market. And as a result of that hard work, we're fortunate to call companies such as NASA and Northrop Grumman and Rockwell, Ford, Collins Aerospace, Olympus, and many others are customers who use these systems in a variety of different applications. And the interesting thing there, the relevant thing for 5G is that a lot of the rationalization for building a 5G vRAN is to have a fully virtualized environment into which you can deploy new applications and services. Think, for example, autonomous vehicles with vehicle-to-vehicle accident avoidance. You need 5G's low latency communication in order to provide that solution, but you also need to be able to host that application at the edge of the network. So virtualization is the right way to do that. And Wind River's expertise in all of these markets is directly connected to the use cases that service providers are trying to enable to drive new revenue into their businesses.
And how can people find out more about the 5G vRAN solution? Paul, let's start with you.
Oh, thanks, Ray. So you're watching this video before the big 5G event in Denver. I'll be there. You can certainly stop by and visit the Wind River booth and talk to us in person. We'll have a lot of people there that are very experienced in 5G. And of course, you can reach forward to your Intel or Wind River account manager to talk further.
And Cristina?
I would say go to intel.com/network, or there's tons of resources there and contact information, or reach out to any of us. Super happy to work with you.
Okay, so a lot of key information here about a very important industry development. Cristina, Paul, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, Ray, for having us. A really great conversation.